Biggest warmongering race of aliens declare war on the local galaxy cluster. The opposing group of peace-loving aliens who had befriended most alien races are finally forced to reveal their secret weapon, a classified species called humans, and their tenacity as persistence predators. Thrixol drummed his clawed fingers on the aluminum table, absently poking small holes into the soft material. He pondered to himself why, for the life of him, was he waiting for the soft and fragile ambassador from Andromeda to appear. Killing them didn't even seem worth it. It was too easy. Their race was not like his. His people were strong, fierce, and resilient. Bones like pure steel, armored scales like stone, and with many claws and teeth with which to rip and tear. He had seen the ambassador. He could snap their bones like twigs. So why wait? Why bother entertaining them? "I appreciate your patience." A quiet voice resonated from within his mind. "I will be there in a moment." Thrixol stiffened slightly, one of his armored spines piercing the back of his chair. He looked to his side at the door just as it hissed open, and the frail eremite stepped in, a glass haptic tablet glowing faintly under one arm. "I do not like having my mind probed, Twig," Thrixol snarled through clenched jaws. "I am sorry, but it is the only way my kind can communicate directly. If you would prefer, I can write the messages down and have you read them. Are you familiar with the Chilai Cyrillic script?" This was a tactic often formed by the meek and feeble, as Thrixol well knew, to appear harmless and accommodating and lull your opponent into a false sense of security while you prepared a weapon to take them out from behind. "Nothing so complex, I assure you," the eremite stated. "Simply trying to negotiate." Thrixol grunted and picked his teeth with one claw, a gesture of mild threat that appeared lost on the eremite, whose race were born blind save for a handful of soft divots which dotted its skull to detect heat. Thrixol, being cold-blooded, likely appeared as a shadow to the being. "Speak." "Gladly." The eremite pulled up an image on its haptic tablet. An expansive view of the galactic cluster filled the space above the table. "These are the galaxies you are prepared to wage war on, each home to thousands of habitable worlds containing intelligent life forms, trillions of beings with homes, lives, and desires." Thrixol rolled his eyes at that. Empathy would get them nowhere. A second image took place of the first, an older Kana, its skin now pale lavender with age, carrying two brilliant purple offspring. "These are the lives you would choose to extinguish, the races you would drive to extinction." A rotating image of the eremite crest filled the air. "Lives that we have sworn to defend," the eremite stated flatly, the words echoing slightly in Thrixol's mind. "And you must understand that we take that promise seriously." The scales on Thrixol's hands shifted slightly, flattening against the skin in preparation for a fight. "Are you saying that you will declare war upon us, and you will fight us off? Don't be ridiculous." A new image began to form, a spiraling helix of pure eremite DNA. "But do not think we are unprepared for your level of threat." The strand of DNA was joined by another, marked Chilai, and another marked Silar. More and more strands lined up, each marked to the dominant species of a different planet. "We spent many millennia building and constructing a new being, one that would combine all of our DNA into the perfect warrior. Strong, resilient, and ready to fight at any cost." The air hung thick as more images filled the space above the table. Massive quadrupedal beasts with twin tusks or crowns of pronged bone that expanded for whole meters, eight-legged armored beasts with barbed tails. Thrixol felt excitement fill him. A challenging beast such as these would provide him with many opportunities to prove his might on the field. "These are not the warrior, not even close. Two of these have gone extinct at their hands. The third is only a pest to them. Truth be told, their greatest proving ground has been against one another." The next image was of a biped, a few heads shorter than Thrixol. Its skin was pale and soft, covered with a thin coating of hair. Two forward-facing eyes, a small mouth filled with flat teeth, and fingers that ended in tightly manicured nails. It was pathetic. This was the warrior who would spell their doom. This was the being that hunted massive beasts to extinction. This? Quite, the eremite said with a tone of smugness. These were the perfect mixture of genes to survive an environment rich with creatures like yourself. Beyond their physical resilience, capable of losing limbs, organs, and pieces of their brain with minimal hindrance, they are incredibly resourceful. Images popped up of the fleshy creatures adorning themselves in the pelts of the massive creatures as a way to stave off cold, of them fashioning rudimentary tools from sticks and stone, and purifying salt water into both a seasoning and a drinkable liquid. Ruthless. Dead cattle being thrown over city walls to cause plague, fields being salted to prevent anything from growing again, men and women being led to slaughter, a city being decimated by a cloud of radioactive smoke. Cunning. A man lying in shadows, waiting to stab a gentleman in the back. A chef slipping poison into a nobleman's food. A man successfully convincing a crowd not to stone an innocent man, the phrase, "He who is without sin," inscribed on the bottom. And above all, persistent. A man, both arms broken, bashing another man's skull in with his own. A woman lifting 3 tons of metal and rubber off the dirt to rescue a child. A tribe of men and women following the tracks of a beast that had long since vanished. One man alone, sword drawn, against an army. We have 7 billion of these creatures on one planet alone. For each one that dies, 2 more are being born. They will not surrender. They will not concede. They will fight until the last. Thrixall felt his body tense as he watched a man wrestle a massive reptile into submission, slit its throat, and walk away as though it were nothing toward an applauding audience. Thrixall had not realized that his fingers had ripped large gashes into the table. "Are you willing to risk war, knowing what you do about humans?"